a group of people with a common set of values and beliefs. It's why I'm here today. When we're surrounded by people who believe what we believe, something remarkable happens. Trust emerges. We need trust. The very survival of this organization depends on it. It depends on our ability to create trusting relationships. If you don't understand people, then you don't understand politics. I'll give you a little hint. 100% of all the delegates in this room, and all voters in general, are people. It's why authenticity matters. What we do and say are symbols of who we are. If we're putting out false symbols, then we will attract people to those symbols, but we won't be able to form trust with them. It's what bad leaders do, including politicians. Politicians, with their comprehensive 12-point plans, they're not inspiring anybody. Dr. Martin Luther King gave the "I have a dream" speech, not the "I have a plan" speech. Now, being a leader requires follows. A good leader, a servant leader, inspires us. We follow those who lead not because we have to, but because we want to. We follow those that lead not for them, but for ourselves, because servant leaders are driven by a cause, a purpose, a belief. Like Dr. King, they attract those who believe what they believe. People won't buy into what we do as Republicans if they don't buy into why we do what we do as Republicans. Now, I'm an alpha. What is the responsibility of an alpha, you say? Ultimately, the responsibility of an alpha is to sacrifice himself for his people. It's also the anthropological definition of a leader, which is someone who looks out for others. A servant leader gives selflessly, gives protection. Servant leaders have empathy and perspective. It's why I care about each and every one of you here today, because I believe we are of the same culture and community. Did you know that the feelings of nervousness and excitement manifest the same physiological characteristics? But yet one is considered a bad thing while the other is a good thing. The difference is perspective, which is why a good leader must provide a clear vision, a why, a purpose. See, leaders aren't actually responsible for the results, but for the environment in which the results are created, because a leader is really responsible for the people who are responsible for the results. You see, a good leader isn't in charge, but is responsible for those in his charge. A servant leader values diverse opinions by speaking last, in order to give the opportunity that everyone else contribute and be heard. The benefit is that the leader actually receives what everyone really thinks. A servant leader listens to understand, not just respond. And the servant leader asks questions to understand why. Now, I'm playing the long game. And in game theory, it's referred to as the infinite game. And that's exactly what republicanism is and should be, never ending. In infinite game theory, there's no such thing as beating the competition or being number one. Therefore, there is no such thing as winning or beating politics. Therefore, the infinite player realizes that sometimes you're ahead and sometimes you're behind. The reality of an infinite game is that you're only competing against yourself. The only objective every day is how do we become a better version of our institution this year than we were last year? How do we improve the quality of our culture? How do we improve the quality of the way we provide the service we claim to be providing as Republicans? How do we improve ourselves? In closing, my mantra is unity, clarity, victory. If we want to perpetually promote true republicanism, then we must win elections. In order to win elections, we must have a clear vision and message. In order to have a clear message, we must have a unified body. In order to have a unified body, we must have trust. In order to rebuild trust, we must promote a good leader, a servant leader. Ladies and gentlemen, I am that leader. Thank you.
Our next chair candidate, Derek Brown.
I'm Derek Brown, and I'm running to be your Republican Party chair.
Yeah. You betcha!
Thank you. This morning, comments by Senator Lee about unity were exactly what I think we needed to hear. A number of years ago, back when Mike Lee, or everyone thought Mike Lee was crazy for even running for the Senate, Emily and I hosted one of his first town hall meetings in our home. And we knew something unique was happening that night when almost 100 delegates showed up to cram in and get a sneak peek and hear his message. I am grateful for his endorsement in this campaign, but I'm also, more than that, I'm grateful for the opportunity to spend several years of my life working on his Senate team, serving the state of Utah, and fighting for conservative values. Let me tell you, my friends, he's a man who walks the walk. This group gathered here is Utah. Because of you, Utah is the great state that it is. And we can't take that for granted, and you don't, and that's why you're here. So during my campaign, I have asked you, what is the #1 priority of the Utah Republican Party? You made it clear to me that your priority is to win elections, put Republicans in office, and keep Utah red. And I also heard from you loud and clear that our party needs to be more user-friendly, right? For example, if we want more people like you involved, committed Republicans who have busy lives, well, let's be honest, a 12-hour-long convention can't be part of the deal. So as Republicans, we've always won here just by our sheer number. But that's all changing. You see, back in 2004, Utah and 4 surrounding states were reliably red. But now Utah stands alone. Should we be worried? Back in 2004, it was all red. Now, if you look at the last 12 months since our last convention, our party has lost thousands of members, including delegates. We've had thousands of people move to the state of Utah who don't necessarily appreciate the conservative values that have made this state great. And as someone who's taught law classes at BYU for the last decade, I can tell you, and you already know this, but our message is somewhat lost on the younger generation. You see, 2018 was our party's canary in the coal mine moment. And in Salt Lake County, the canary died. We lost county-wide offices. We lost seats in the House and Senate, and we lost a congressional seat in a district where Republicans outnumber Democrats by double digits. So as Republicans, we stand for limited government, individual liberties, protecting the life of the unborn, and free markets. So it raises the question, what does the Democrat Party stand for? Government dependence? How about seizing control of the entire American economy and calling it the Green New Deal? We know it's not about being green, it's not new, and it certainly isn't a deal. Right? In fact, maybe we should just get them some hats that say, making socialism great again. Except it never was it? So my friends, winning in 2020 starts here and now, and you need experience to do that. My experience is not in internal party politics or parliamentary procedure. My experience is on the front lines of winning campaigns. It's in pounding the pavement. It's in pounding campaign signs. And it's in pounding away any chance of Utah ever turning blue. So today, you've heard a lot about unity, and like Senator Mike Lee, I'm a guy who will walk that walk. I'm a guy who can unify, a guy who can bring people together, and I'm not the count my vote guy or the keep my voice guy. I'm the win elections guy. I'm the put Republicans in office guy. I'm the keep Utah red guy. Thank you, my friends. I'm Derek Brown. Let's do this.
Please welcome Chair Candidate Sylvia Mira-Fisk.
Good morning, wonderful Republicans of Utah. I am Sylvia Mieta Fisk, and I'm here to be your state party chair. There is a need for healing and unity, and we are all here to try to restore that. It begins now, and as God said it best, we love one another. I am here for my family, and to honor God in the truth and integrity that was taught and lived by my parents. My children come first. It is their concerns that are my rock and strength in this effort. My youngest son fears for his future in our country. Though my children are now adults, I continue to work hard to establish a strong foundation for them and my posterity. Instead of talking about our belief in the party platform, we need to live it. When we claim to be the party by and for the people, and we affirm the infinite worth of all individuals, it is time to live that statement. We are the strength and foundation of our Republican Party. Everyone is important and vital to the fabric of our nation. We are all qualified and have the God-given right and abilities to serve one another. God knows our abilities and talents. He has faith in us, and we can have faith and confidence in each other. Together we can build a solid, strong foundation for each other in the future, and I will listen to you. I have learned the value of listening. In May 2015, my son returned from living in Mexico for 2 years, in time to hear Donald Trump announce his candidacy for President of the United States. My son had a very open and objective view of a man he knew nothing about, but he knew what Mr. Trump was saying was true. I had lived as a teenager in Mexico and attended boarding school in Mexico City. The drug cartels were dangerous and powerful 50 years ago, so I listened to Mr. Trump too. As I listened, I saw and heard the strength and conviction with which he spoke to secure our borders and to battle the illegal trafficking of this devastating poison. My son knew why the illegal drug situation affected me so profoundly and why I fight to stop this drug epidemic. Heroin had torn my family apart and caused tremendous grief, agony, and division. President Trump's fight to conquer this terrible epidemic will be my fight as long as I live. So, we worked hard, campaigned for Donald Trump, and he became the 45th President of the United States of America. In his State of the Union address, President Trump said, "America was founded on liberty and independence, not government coercion, domination, and control. We are born free, and we will stay free." It is time for definite change now. Without change, we cannot progress. We see with change the great successes from President Trump and his administration. For me, to witness the Hispanic community at an all-time high of employment, we know our president is accomplishing great things for all America. We are now confronted with division and lack of communication. Each of us must take responsibility for reaching this point. It will take time to heal, but we can do it. We, the people, can unite, or we face the risk of losing all that the forefathers of our country fought to gain, and the freedoms we enjoy today. We will focus and prepare to have organized meetings and conventions, plan successful creative fundraisers, and have responsible and transparent fiscal accounting. We will prepare to support and elect good Republican candidates throughout our state to regain the House and keep our Senate. And we will prepare for the re-election of our President, Donald J. Trump. I will work hard for each of you in the capacity of a full-time job. We will work together as one people under God. We will take a concerted effort that requires cooperation, respect, and listening to each other. This will accomplish many things, and the success each of us achieves is a success for us all. We will continue making America great again, and we will keep Utah great always. We don't live Utah values. We are Utah values. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you. Our last and final chair candidate, Phil Wright.
Thank you, delegates. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for coming out and doing your duty as delegates for the great Utah Republican Party. I have 7 children. When my oldest daughter was 3, my wife and I took her on a trip with us from from California to Georgia. We were sitting in the last seat of the non-smoking section. Soon after the flight took off, a large gentleman sat behind us and lit up a cigarette, blowing smoke over our seats. My precious little 3-year-old stood in her seat, turned around, placed her hands on her hips, pointed to this man and said, "Sir, don't you know smokerettes will kill you?" And I'm getting a little worried at that point. And he, in a gruff voice, said, "Says who?" Still with her hands on her hips, she said, "Smokey the Bear and Holy the Ghost." Now that taught me an important lesson from a 3-year-old. Never be afraid to have the courage to stand and do the right thing. I have done that as a Republican. I've done it the last 10 years as I've served in the party. I'm the only candidate with leadership experience in our party. I was the county chair. I was the vice chair of the party. I was elected to be the chair of our national delegation to the 2016 RNC convention. I was also asked by Ted Cruz to be the chair of the Utah Ted Cruz campaign, and with grassroots, we helped him win 70% of the vote, the highest in the nation. When I went to the national convention and Donald Trump became our nominee, the news media was putting their cameras in my face and saying, "Now what are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, America deserves better than Hillary. I'm going to go home and campaign for Donald Trump," and I did, and I thank God he's our president. Then he talked about building bridges. We can build all the bridges we want, but those bridges are meaningless unless we cross the bridge, stand on common ground, and join hands with the people on the other side. That's how you create unity. I had the opportunity, while finding people to support our lawsuit against SB 54, to speak with the chair of the National Green Party. Now I realized that the Green Party's here, the Republican Party's here, so I was trying to figure out what is the common ground. And I realized it's the same thing we all have in common. It's the greatest constitution God has ever given to man. That's what I used. And when I told her what was at stake, she said, "Where do I sign?" And then she called me brother every time thereafter that. That's how you create unity. That's how you bring people together, by finding the common ground. As Republicans, the common ground we have is simple. It's called our platform. When we unite around our platform, we bring people in, we motivate the base, we get people excited to be Republicans, and we find good and committed candidates. That's what I will do if I'm your chair. I will travel the state. I've been to 29 counties over the last several years. I will promote our platform so that we can find candidates who will promote our platform when we elect them. I know how to win elections. I've won 5 of my own. Not to mention 15 times I've been a state or county delegate. I helped win every single election in Davis County when I was the chair, and I helped raise money for those candidates. But winning elections isn't just about winning elections. It's about making sure we elect candidates that have the same principles and values that we do, and then holding them accountable. I know how to raise funds. I helped raise the $400,000 that paid off all of our legal debt to keep our party from going bankrupt. I have a very simple plan to raise funds. It's simple. You do it on the grassroots. You work with people. let me just say this in closing. Let's heed the counsel of a 3-year-old child, and Smokey the Bear and Holy the Ghost. And let's extinguish those things that divide us and shorten our lives, and let's always stand for truth. My name is Phil Wright. I hope that you consider voting for me for chair of the Utah Republican Party. Thank you so much.
Respectful.
Let's have one more round of applause for our chair candidates. The chair closed credentialing before the last speaker began his speech. Registration is now closed. It will reopen again after balloting is finished and closed.
Mr. Chair,
The amended. Yes, go ahead.
the Elections Committee would just like to give us a couple of reminders before we actually go to balloting.
Okay.
First of all, everyone needs to remember that voting with all of these keypads and collecting the votes with the receivers is like putting a bathtub full of water down a drain. So we need to do it in smaller groups. We recommend that we do it by our last names, early last names first, later last names last.
Or your section. So by sound of applause, would you rather do it by name or section? I'll direct our sections, Brad's mom.
Great.
Thank you, Marianne.
Also, if you're having any trouble with your keypad, first of all, be patient with it and keep trying to push the button. Watch for the green light. At the green light, your vote has been counted. If you're having trouble, remember that the help desks, there are 2, and if the helpers at the help desk can stand up and wave their arms so you can see where you're going. So head down to the
Midpoint
help
of the
desk.
sentence.
The chair will watch for movement in the crowd. If you are heading down there, he will not close the vote, and he will wait for a thumbs up from our 2 help desks before he closes the vote to make sure that every single vote is counted.
Thank you, Marianne. She's correct. Every vote matters. Okay, the chair now recognizes Gina Ward, the chair of the Credentials Committee, to give the amended credential report before balloting begins. Gina. Shira. All right, while we try and locate her, I'm gonna entertain you guys with a joke. So if you bear with me here, knock knock. We can all do better. Knock knock. Me, I'm still your chair. Tough crowd. I was instructed to tell another bad joke. I'm not a comedian. I may not try to do this.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I request for information when the final credentials report is given. I'm wondering if the number of final delegates, if clickers turned in, are subtracted from the number that initially registered. Thank you.
No, they're never subtracted. No, they're never subtracted. We stay with the original final credentials count. Thank you. Also, when you guys leave today, please, 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 I asked about a $50 donation from each of you to retire our debt. That's what the party will be fined if you walk home with your clicker. That's the replacement cost. So if you find yourself out in the parking lot with your clicker, please take a few steps to come back in and drop that off. Otherwise, okay. And also, if you're a Venmo individual, it's at, all you Venmo people, write this down, at Utah, UTAH, Republican Party. And it has the Utah GOP elephant. Okay? That's our Venmo. Chair now recognizes Gina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, without further ado, final report from the Credentials Chair. As of 12:10 p.m., there were 2,322 delegates registered for this convention. On behalf of the Credentials Committee, I move the amendment of the Credentials Report.
Okay. This was proposed. It does not require a section because it came from the Credential Committee. Without objection, the Credential Report will be adopted as amended. Hearing no objection, we will now proceed for balloting for the chair. Everyone get out your keypads. You'll press the number that appears next to the name of the candidate you want to select. Could you please put the name of the candidates on the screen, please? We'll do this in order by section as we just determined, so that we don't overwhelm the system. I will begin at the chair's right and move around the room to the left. Are we ready for balloting? Okay, we're ready for balloting. The polls are now open. Press 1 for Chadwick Fairbanks, 2 for Derek Brown, 3 for Sylvia Mira Fisk, and 4 for Phil Wright. We'll start with the section up here on the chair's right. First 2 sections, please vote now. May the 4th. Thank you. The next 2 sections for the entire west side of the elevated seating there, please vote now. Remember, if you get a red light, continue to try even after I pass your section. If it persists, you feel like you need to, go down to the help desk. Before I close credentialing, I will ask if everyone has not had an opportunity to vote. All right, the west side should all have completed. Let's go to the section on the left on the floor. Before I close polling, I might have said credentialing there, but I think you understood what I meant. All right, the whole floor, west side. Davis County in the back, please vote now. Hooyah. Okay, east side floor section, please vote now. Thank you. Far back, Weber County, and the first 2 sections on the east side. All right, the sparsely populated east side. Please vote now. East side. Now, anyone who has been facing a red light, please continue to vote now. Okay, has everyone had an opportunity to vote? East side credentials desk. Can I get a thumbs up or a wave? Thumbs up. West side credentials desk. A thumbs up. Okay. If anyone has not had an opportunity to vote, could you just please yell? Okay, we've got one over here. Let me know when that's complete, please.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
point of inquiry.
Yes.
While we're waiting for the count. With the credentials report of 2322, what is the total possible credential people that we could have had? That number is out of
Just under 4,000.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, thumbs up over here, thumbs up over there. Everyone had an opportunity to vote? Hearing no objection, the polls are now closed. Only moments away.
There's a problem back here.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
point of building maintenance. There's a freezing cold wind pouring down in the center section here. Can we get the building maintenance somewhere to take a look at it?
It's you're cold still? Okay, Sean Milne. Warm it up. Okay. The center section, the floor is cold. It's a hockey rink out there.
All right, everybody stand up. We're going to do some calisthenics.
You're all Navy SEALs. You're in the surf. Thank you. We'll work on that. Sean's got it. I've asked him a couple of times to warm it up. Thank you.
Just by way of information, if you're hungry, the concessionaire is open on the second floor in the back of the hall.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Okay. We have an issue. Go ahead. It's just a point of...
Thank you. Mike Winder, West Valley City. Point of personal something. While we're waiting, if everyone can turn on their family search app that has one and do relative finder, and you kind of find to see how we're related. If you want to.
Excellent point. Okay, we had one issue. One gentleman, after the balloting was closed, said he didn't have an opportunity to vote. He or she, I'm not sure what gender. However, to open the polls again, we need a majority vote for the body. I think we can accomplish that with a voice vote. So all in favor of opening the polls for this one person to cast a paper ballot in this election, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. The ayes have it. Please open the polls for that one paper ballot only.
Mr. Chair, over here.
Yes.
I just wanted to tell Mr. Winder, thank you for that, and I wanted to point out that on my relative finding, we have 312 relatives here, which goes to show that there's more that unites us than divides us in the party.
Point taken. And are you from West Virginia?
Those would all be first cousins, sir.
Okay. Results are in. There were 2,000. First of all, I'd like to say, having been in their shoes, campaigning is a reach, and it's I commend them for reaching out. The ballots that were cast in 2,262 ballots. Chadwick Fairbanks III received 46 votes for 2.03%. Derek Brown received 1,412 votes for 62.41%. Sylvia Murphy received 73 votes for 3.23%. And Phil Wright received 731 votes for 32.33%. Derek Brown, having received the majority of the votes, will be the next state party chair. Congratulations. All right, on to vice chair. We have 3 candidates. We'll hear from them in the following order: Kara Berglund, Lane Brano, and Aaron T. Starks. Vice chair candidates, are you ready? I believe they are. Each will have 5 minutes to address the body. Again, our timekeepers are front and right at the center of the speaker. Kara Berglund.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, I would like to thank the staff and volunteers who made this convention possible. And thank you, delegates, for routinely sacrificing your time to make our state and nation so great. My name is Kara Berglund, and I'm running to be your next state party vice chair. I'd I live in Morgan County with my husband and our 6 mostly well-behaved children. My greatest joys in life are found in my role as a wife and mother. Nothing has empowered me more than my ability to be a mom, and I celebrate that role every day. Every day I choose to set a positive example for my kids as I embark upon ways to improve our community, our state, and our nation. Now, it's been said that the place for a woman is in the home, simply baking cookies. While my cookies are pretty amazing, my role is so much more than that. I have been honored to serve as a county, state, and national delegate. As the Morgan County SCC representative and then as county chair, I have volunteered and worked to help Republicans win elections all across our state. Last year, I gained even more experience when I was able to step up and run for party chair vacancy. And of 21 candidates, the State Central Committee selected me to be, for the last 10 months, your state party vice chair. While serving as chair, I have helped fundraise for our party. We had over $300,000 in debt. Today, that debt is right around $80,000. This convention was paid for in full before we walked through the doors. Last year's convention that was upwards of $100,000, that was paid for in full before convention. Our monthly bills are paid. Every event that we do is paid for before we do it. I don't want to take all the credit for that. I think we need to acknowledge our chairman, Rob Anderson, because he's done a phenomenal job bringing our debt from $300,000 to $80,000 and keeping up with our expenses. Now, additionally, for the first time in years, the party has been focusing on voter outreach and town halls throughout our state. We provided lunch to over 200 homeless children and served lunch at Primary Children's Hospital. Voter outreach is hugely important to me. Over the last few years, I've noticed a struggle within our party. We aren't struggling because we have a shortage of qualified candidates and dedicated volunteers. We are struggling because we have failed to unite and work together. Now more than ever, we need experienced leaders, and dare I say, a mother, who is willing to work together to achieve great things for our party. My priorities as your next vice chair can be summed up in a few words. Work together to grow the party and win elections. For the sake of the longevity of our party, we must strengthen college, teenage, and young Republicans. They are our future leaders, and they are the only ones that can ensure that misguided people like Bernie Sanders are not shaping our country. It's time we start preaching the success of capitalism and put an end to socialistic ideas once and for all. If you want to maintain our caucus system like I do, we must focus on making the caucus system fun, efficient, and meaningful. We need to utilize technology and work together. If we do this, we can turn the system, the caucus and convention system, into a system that everybody's going to want to participate in. We also need to identify unRepublican Republicans and unaffiliated Republicans. Because to paraphrase Ronald Reagan, everyone's a Republican, they just don't know it yet. Last, but certainly not least, let's harness our best resource, our people. We have amazing, committed Republicans across our state. With the right training and support, you will be successful, our party will grow, and we will start winning back seats, including the 4th Congressional District. I want to pledge and to add my voice to yours and the chorus of Republicans around our state who seek to preserve good governance through adherence to conservative principles and integrity. I hope you agree with me that we cannot allow Hillary Clinton and Alexandria Cortez to be the face and voice of women in this state and country. We deserve better, and the time is not tomorrow, it's today. This is my ask of all of our delegates here today. Please find a college or teenage Republican like our friend Francis here, and mentor them. Bring them into the party. We always need money, yes, but what we need is youth involved, and every one of us can be that example and bring them into the party, and that is what we need to succeed and grow. Again, my name is Kara Berkman, and I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Please welcome our next vice chair candidate, Lane Ronham.
Wow, am I impressed. I'm overwhelmed. But I'm also a little bit disappointed. There's only 58% of the potential delegates here. How many of you remember the cartoon, The Wizard of Ed? You old timers will. The king was talking to the wizard one day, and he asked the wizard, I'm mean to my people. I have some of them killed. I tax them heavily. Why don't they overthrow me? And the wizard said, because you don't hold any meetings. I'm an operational consultant. I go into companies, not-for-profit people, political parties, governmental agencies, and help them understand how they can do things better and more efficiently. In my misspent youth, I was a justice court judge, so I know a little bit about the legal profession. In my misspent youth, I was the chairman of the Weber County Republican Party. In my misspent youth, I was a ledge chair in Salt Lake County. And in Washington County, where my wife and I currently live, I've served for the past 2 years as a member of the State Central Committee, the Executive Committee in St. George, Washington County, and a state delegate and county delegate. I want to tell you a story. The last activity I had in consulting and helping people run things better, I was hired by the Porterville Sheltered Workshop in that foreign country to the west of Nevada called California. When I got there, I found out that they were overspending their budget by $500,000 a year. This was a not-for-profit corporation. They had close to $2 million in long-term debt, and they had a lot of problems. I went into the boss, and I said, why didn't you tell me this before I got here? And he said, that's why you're here. That's why you're here. What are we going to do? 10 years later, when I left, they had no debt, no leases, their budget had doubled, and they had $5 million cash in the bank. That's how I work in consulting with people in operating better. I'm very concerned about the operation that we have here. Everyone is good people, but we need some professional service, some professional people to help understand the better way to do things. Raise money, go ahead and make things operate better, make shorter meetings. I taught twice in southern Utah at the LDS Tabernacle there in St. George. I won't tell you what I talked about the first time, but the second time it was about what I believe. I believe in the Constitution of the United States, the rule of law, and the caucus system. And I believe we can bring everybody together, work better, make things operate better, and have the meetings a lot shorter. Remember, thank you very much. Vote Lane Ronald Vice Chair. Thanks for being here.
Our final Vice Chair candidate, Aaron T. Starks.
Well, I'd first like to congratulate Derek Brown on his election. I'm excited for the future of this party with Derek now involved. 6 weeks ago, Derek and I had lunch, And we talked about the needs that our party currently has and the challenges that we face. And the consensus between the two of us was that we needed to get out of debt, win races, and grow our organization. I'm proud to have his support, and I've supported him for the past month of my campaign because I believe he's a proven leader that will unite us as a party. I'd like to thank everyone for making time and coming, especially those from rural counties who've traveled 4 to 6 hours to get here on your own dime. That's your contribution to this party. Rural Utah is the backbone of our organization, and delegates need to feel how important they are. As many of you will know, I've been very clear about why I'm running. I've done an organizational analysis. I'm very familiar with the health of our organization. We are almost $100,000 in debt. If you're between the ages of 18 to 36 years old, you're almost 50% more likely to leave the party now than you were 10 years ago. In the last 2 years, 22,000 people have left the Republican Party in the state of Utah. The unaffiliated voter demographic in Utah continues to skyrocket. We have got to be better. I believe our best days are still ahead of us as a party. I would like to focus on 3 things as vice chair in addition to supporting our chair. The first is to create a statewide strategy. No one in this room can tell me what our strategy or our goals are because they do not exist. I believe that at our most fundamental level as an organization, we need to have goals that we are all striving for. The SCC, in conjunction with party leadership, needs to come together and create a statewide strategy where we can address key topics like growth, fundraising, recruiting, and delegate education. In each of those areas, there needs to be clear, concise goals on how we will go about being successful. That's what organizational leadership is about. We must do this because we have 4,000 delegates statewide, and delegates are our most precious asset as an organization. Can you imagine 4,000 delegates attending a state convention and leaving motivated and inspired to grow the Republican Party in their local precincts throughout the state of Utah? As leadership, we need to provide the vision for our party. And I am asking for your experience because I am the general manager of an organization that spans 14 countries in Asia. And I know firsthand that in the absence of a clear strategy and communication plan, the organization will fall apart. We need to be working together. We need to increase our accessibility and our inclusivity so that younger voters in the state of Utah know that there's a home for them within the Republican Party. As an undergraduate, I was selected by the White House in the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to go speak on C-SPAN because I single-handedly signed up 10,000 voters here in the state. I know what it takes to engage the younger voters. I am in that 18 to 36-year-old bracket. This is crucial. If we want Utah to continue to have the Republican Party as its main party, we must invest in our youth, and we're not doing good enough in this area. We can all do better. Lastly, as soon as we are out of debt, which is priority number 1, we can start sponsoring candidates and we can invest in internal operations. We are short-staffed at the office. We lack the capacity to communicate with delegates. I spoke with 1,100 delegates and over 300 told me they weren't aware that a state convention was taking place. We need to create a statewide website where we can disseminate information and train precinct chairs. For too long, our systems and our structures have been antiquated. We need to keep pace with the times. And technologically speaking, we can grant greater access to individuals all throughout the state who want to know about our platform and want to know how to get involved in the Republican Party. I'm asking for your support. More important than having great leadership is having great leadership that can work together. And Derek and I are unified, and it's time for a fresh start in the Republican Party. Thank you.
Let's have one more round of applause for our vice chair candidates. Registration was again closed before the final speech began. Registration is now closed and will remain closed through the end of balloting. The chair recognizes Gina Worthen, who's standing right here for a final or amended credentials report. Gina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The credential report is as of 12:43 p.m. There were 2,325 delegates registered for this convention, so we added 3. On behalf of the Credentials Committee, I move the amendment of the amended credentials report.
Thank you. Without objection, we'll accept the amended credentials report. Hearing no objection, we will proceed to balloting. Balloting will be for vice chair. You'll vote 1, 2, or 3, the number of the candidate, and it'll be in the speaking order. Please put the candidates' names on the screen. Press 1 for Kira Berglund, 2 for Lane Rano, and 3 for Aaron Starks. Are the polls ready? Okay, the polls are now open. We will vote in sections. The first section, west side. Please select your candidate and vote. Thank you. Entire west side, all the way to the back. Please vote now. Thank you. West side floor section. Please vote now. Press 1, 2, or 3. Davis County in the back, please vote. Floor, west, east side floor, please vote now. Thank you. Entire west side section and the back, including Weaver, please vote now. Anyone having troubles or persistent red light, please proceed to the help desk if you're able. Either side. I pointed this way and said west. East side. We lost the war because of my directions. East side, thank you. Okay, has everyone had a chance to vote? Okay. Anyone who hasn't gotten a solid green light for your final vote, please vote now. Again, if you're having a problem and you have a red light, please approach the help desk. All right, east side help desk over here. Are you clear? I have thumbs up from the east side. West side help desk. Looks clear. Has everyone had an opportunity to vote? Speak up now, please. Hearing no one, the polls will close in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The polls are now closed.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Thank you. Carl Sedlak from Sandy County.
Can you move a little closer to the microphone?
I'm Carl Sedlak from down in Sandy County, Spring City Municipal Precinct. And I'd like to make some admonishment in the fact that we worked very, very hard in Congressman Love's re-election campaign in the 4th Congressional District, and it was extremely frustrating, that loss. And so we would like to encourage the Central Committee, Executive Committee, the state level to really emphasize in this next election statewide party unity in supporting our candidate that you mentioned is nominated to run and unseat the incumbent Democrat in that seat. We'd like to encourage this party to do that. Especially would like those who are delegates here from Utah County to get to their county commissioners and strongly, in the most forceful words possible, to encourage them to make sure they have adequate polling places in the next election cycle. It's one of the main reasons why Congresswoman Leah Love lost, is because we have to wait 4 to 5 hours to vote, and it's totally unacceptable. So Utah delegates, act on that, please. Lastly, I just want to thank everybody for the great job you're doing today. All your committees, the chair and associates, I think you're doing an outstanding job as compared to what we've seen in the past. Thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, we have the results. Are you ready? In the race for vice chair, the ballots cast were 2,229. Kara Bergman received 546 votes for 24.5%. Lane Rano received 237 votes for 10.63%. Aaron Starks received 1,446 votes for 64.87%. Having received the majority of the votes, Aaron Starks will be our next state party vice chair. Congratulations. All right, there's an announcement. The buckets going around are a 60-40 split. We're splitting with the College Republicans, so when you make your donation, you know where it's going. Please feel free to donate liberally and often. The next election will be for our secretary. We have 2 candidates who filed for that position. The order will be Kendra Seeley and then Lisa Shepard. Secretary candidates, are you ready? Audience, are you ready? All right, let's greet both secretary candidates. First, it will be Kendra Seeley.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox.
And I'm State Auditor John Dougal. Party secretary needs to be hardworking and detail-oriented. She needs to do the work of the party, not be mixed up in infighting.
We see no one more dedicated, more qualified, and more willing to represent our principles and ideals than Kendra Seeley. As county chair, her leadership helped turn Carbon County from solidly Democrat to solidly Republican.
United, we nominate Kendra Seeley for State Party Secretary.
And I'm asking for your vote for State Party Secretary. I want to thank John Dougal and Spencer Cox for their nomination and endorsement. I so appreciate the service they have done for our party. I hope one day to have Kendra Seeley and serving as Republican Party go together as well as Frugal and Dougal does. As chair of the Carbon County Republican Party for the past 4 years, I've seen the ability of the party to make meaningful changes in my community. During that time, we were able to flip Carbon County from a Democrat county to a fully Republican county. We changed our county through hard work, dedication, and outreach. I learned the importance of doing my job and not being distracted by controversies. And if you can't tell, we have a few controversies in our party. But instead, we created effective programs focused on getting good Republicans elected. The job of secretary is pretty well defined in our governing documents. keeping records, notes of our meetings, facilitating communication between the state and the counties. But the secretary is also there as a resource to the party. And it is my promise that I will be there as a resource to the party because I care about this party. Now let me explain why I believe in this party. When I was younger, I didn't know that much about the differences between the two political parties, and maybe that's something we should all be working on. But I attended my first caucus meetings that year, first the Democrats, and then the Republicans. As the precinct chair read the party platform, I knew that I was home because I agreed with every line of that platform. This is why I want the party to succeed, because I believe in it. So what will I do to ensure that the party is successful? I will over-deliver on all the promises that I made today. I will be organized and ensure that our agendas are effective and done right. I will listen and care about your needs as delegates and about the needs of all of our counties. As a rural county chair, I know how much the counties need all the resources that the state party has to offer. I've been there, I've done that. I will ensure that our minutes are published and accurate and easy to understand without bias. I will work with the state and the counties to ensure our data is protected but accessible to the counties and to the candidates. I will communicate with you, the delegates, about the actions of the party, not in a biased way or to push any agenda, but to involve you in the process. You are our greatest strength. We need you involved, and that begins with communication. Most importantly, I will do all in my ability to see that this party comes together and heals the divide that we've all seen. Because I believe in the platform that they read to me that night I attended my first Republican caucus. My name is Kendra Seeley. I love this party. I'm ready to serve you, to bridge our party's divides, and ensure the duties of the secretary are carried out with exactness. I ask for your vote to be your next state party secretary.
Please welcome our final secretary candidate, Lisa Shepard.
To watch her since I was about 4 years old, putting in hours of hard work and dedication for this Republican Party and our people of Utah. And because of that, I am honored to stand here today and ask that you'll join me in welcoming and supporting my mom, Lisa Shepard.
I'm Lisa Shepard, your party secretary. Welcome to UVU, my alma mater, and where I taught American heritage, bringing our elected officials to my students. I have a question for the entire body of state delegates here. I would like to hear your answer. How many of you woke up the last 833 mornings like I have, so very thankful that Hillary Clinton is not our president? See? We are united. Now let's talk about the role of the secretary as I offer a report. I know the role of secretary extremely well, to provide notice, minutes, attendance records, along with many customary duties, including maintaining the governing documents. With me, being detail-oriented is not just a campaign promise, it's my history. I'm the first secretary to create a comprehensive online secretary's report, including rosters of the State Central Committee, the Executive Committee, their attendance reports, roll call votes, allocation data, and convention attendance reports. I am proud of my work, and I've offered it to you for your review. I am your detail secretary candidate. All you have to do is read a set of my minutes to understand. A good secretary not only knows the role, but also knows the requirements of the Utah Code as it applies to deadlines the party must meet. As a member of the National Association of Parliamentarians, I take seriously the accuracy of our records and our governing documents. I am the only candidate today to have 100% attendance to all meetings for 27 years. With this record of dependability, and by having researched all the historical minutes, I have the insights to the successes and failures of the past, what we need to repeat and what we don't. I will assist our new chair in planning effective meetings where we teach how to fundraise, organize our counties, train for caucuses, and most effectively nominate and help our candidates. I've traveled to the corners of the state to support our counties. At the request of Chairman Noyce of Beaver County, I taught their precinct chairs how to conduct caucuses in a rural county, and then conduct a training seminar at the request of Weaver County Chairwoman Linda Pickett for their party and precinct secretaries. I offer my services to all county party secretaries. I have provided value. I prepared the statewide primary election results for submission to Lieutenant Governor for the whole state by talking to each county chair or vice chair. The past general election cycle, I provided the Get Out the Vote list in the last weeks to the county parties and to 2 U.S. House representatives to help them organize and ensure Republican victory statewide. We as a state party must align our priorities back to promoting our platform and assisting our candidates. As the Founding Fathers proved during the birth of our Constitution, the sharing of ideas and differing opinions can help us to come to what is best in governing our party. Being willing to work with others who have differing opinions on issues and party policy is the trait of a healthy leader. You've heard it mentioned today that our state is turning purple, but unfortunately, our party's been black and blue. Let's work together to return our party and our state to vibrant solid red. I arranged this venue for below $11,000 compared to last year's $65,000 convention. I'm a hands-on secretary that frees up the staff to assist the chair in the mission of the party and raise funds and elect our nominees. The role of the secretary is not about flashy speeches, campaign rhetoric, lobbyist-funded campaigns, or activism. Honestly, it's about the long, hard hours behind the scenes. I've received many endorsements of support, from being the second person to have ever been endorsed by Attorney General Sean Reyes, and to follow state docs, county party chairs, SEC members, and those I've worked with on levels. I seek your vote of confidence based on my qualifications, demonstrated level of service, my clean campaign, and the accuracy of my work. Veterans, I actually started Veterans Caucus last year, so veterans know they have a home in the Republican Party. As you make your final decision for secretary, you can trust with me that I will have a signed their dependable servant with continued high level of service and one who the Republican Party supports Republican Party candidates. I provided stability as your secretary. Thank you. I'm Lisa Shepard. I ask for your vote.
Let's have one more round of applause for our secretary candidates. We will now proceed to balloting. Before that, we'll get an amended credentials report. Chair recognizes Gina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you guys all for staying here too and being here. Thank you all for staying here and being here. And thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, so as of 12:55 p.m., there were 2,326 registered for this convention. So we added one more.
So, on behalf of the Credentials Committee, I move the amendment of the Credentials Report.
The motion does not require a second. Without objection, we'll add one more individual to our ranks. Hearing no objection, we will continue. We'll proceed now to balloting for the secretary race. Everyone get out your keypads. It's a 1 or a 2 this time. 1, Kendra Seeley, 2, Lisa Shepherd. Can you please display the names on the screen? Okay, once the names are on the screen, thank you. The polling is now open. We'll begin on the west side. West side, about 3/4 of the way back. Please begin to vote. Number 1 or number 2. It's your selection. All right, entire west side, please vote. Thank you. Back section, Wolverine to Wolverine. So we were all the way over to the west side. Please put the names back on the screen. Okay, floor, west side. Thank you. Floor, east side. Thank you. Entire east section. East section, please vote. All right, everyone who's had a red light, please vote now. If you're having any issues, work your way down to the help desk. Help desk east, are we clear? See a thumbs up on the east side, west side, help desk. 2 thumbs up. Has everyone had the opportunity to vote? Hearing no objection, close the poll in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, the chair declares the polls open, or closed, disregard, closed. Polls are now closed. As a reminder, when you leave, please drop off your clicking device. Do we have some donation numbers with people's names attached? I'll highlight the individuals who reached the pocketbook today. While elections have ended, there are some resolutions to be discussed. If you give me an hour, I think we can power through those. And hey, what's another hour? Concessions are open as well. If you're hungry, go grab a bite to eat, replenish the sugar stores and come back. All right, we have results of the secretary race. 2,191 ballots were cast in the secretary race. Kendra Seeley received 1,227 votes for 56.0%. Lisa Shepherd received 964 votes for 44.0%. Having received a majority vote, Kendra Seeley is your next state party secretary.
join me in congratulating.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Point of personal privilege, perhaps. While I appreciate the electronic donations that have been given and recognized, many of us might seek to give a cash donation. Any possibility, maybe as we leave our credential things in our little keypads as we leave, consider those to be donation buckets as well. Please donate cash donations there, or perhaps pass around the plastic buckets like we usually do at county.
Thank you. I don't want to leave out those who donate cash, and I appreciate it. We appreciate that. Thank you very much for that point. Okay, we have one remaining race. We have one candidate who filed. As there is only one candidate, Michael Bird is declared the state party treasurer by acclamation. Okay, before Michael comes and addresses the body, we have a few driver's licenses that have been found. They'll be up here to pick up. Erica Rand, Janice Doman, Casey Fisher, Susan Matheson, and Justin Durfee. Your driver's licenses are up here. All right. The chair recognizes Michael to address the delegation for 5 minutes. Michael.
All right. Now for the race we've all been waiting for. Right? It's going to be close. I would start off with a joke, but I think we're all exhausted from Rob Anderson's jokes, so we won't go forward with that. I am very excited. You have spoken, and we know what we need to do for the future. You have amazing leaders, Derek, Aaron, Kendra. I'm excited to be a part of this. I know without a doubt, these are the leaders that will be able to get us in the direction that we need. To get out of the hole that we're in, we made a great decision. I appreciate all the many people I've talked to the last few weeks, and regardless of being unopposed, one of the biggest things that was told to me was, why are you even running? Why are you campaigning? You don't need to, you won. I can tell you that I have learned, I have grown from all of you and talking to you and learning from you. I am excited for the next year. I'm going to do something for you that no other candidate can promise you. I will shorten the convention for you by cutting my speech short. I gave you 3 minutes, 3 minutes of your life back. I will give you one promise. I will work harder than my challenger. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, the chair recognizes Peter Greathouse.
I move that we adjourn this convention at this time.
Okay, the motion on the floor is to adjourn. It's not debatable. The motion goes before the body at this time. Majority required. All in favor of adjournment? We have resolutions and we have delegation speeches that are left on the agenda, just to make you aware of what is there. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. No. The ayes have it. The meeting is now adjourned.